The Office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya formally issued a statement regarding the Rashid Echasa saga. At the same time, the Department of Defense also issued a statement. So today I want us to look at the two statements and dissect them in details. But before we do that, if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to just take a second or two and hit the subscribe button below there, so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. Now back to the main issue. Rashid Echasa's issue or saga is now the main topic in this country. And yesterday, I did a video over the same. And in that video, I opined that the best thing for the DP was to respond to specific questions which Kenyans were raising. For example, the question which he needed to respond to was, how did foreigners access his office without his knowledge? The other question I wanted him to respond to was why this conman picked his office. Was there any loophole? And today, the investigators camped at his office in Harambee House Annex, and then from there, they went to Department of Defense Ulinzi House, and there they did identification parade to identify who the foreigners met. And accompanying these investigators were actually the two foreigners who lost money and who were conned into this game. So today, again, the Office of the Deputy President formally issued a statement. And I want us to go through that statement together with that statement issued by the Department of Defense. But let us start with the one issued by the Office of the Deputy President, because that's where the main thing is. And this statement was issued by David Mugonyi. For those who might not know, David Mugonyi is the Secretary for Communications at the Office of the Deputy President. And this statement is good because it is in point form. So it has 12 points, which we are going to go through each of those points. And it's starting, the Office of the Deputy President wishes to state as follows on the widely reported matter regarding the visit of one Rashid Echasa, former Sports Cabinet Secretary, to Harambee House Annexed. Point number one, the Office of the Deputy President is a public office by which operations receive visitors and access to the premise is subject to strict security protocol that apply to government installations in that category. Now that's what Kenyans have been asking themselves. How did these guys access the premise? Because as much as it's a public office, you can't just wake up one day and go to the Deputy President's office. Sometimes if you are the opposite, Gate D, which is normally a bit easy to access, there's a Java there. Sometimes I sometimes take coffee there when I'm in town. I like that place. You always monitor people, especially people who are trying to get access to that building, taking coffee there as they wait. Sometimes they go back, you hear them complaining. So it's normally not very easy to access the Office of the Deputy President. And that's what this guy is stating clearly, that there are protocols to be followed, security protocols. So that's point one, and we agree with him. Number two is saying anyone who accesses the Office of the Deputy President is duly documented and proper records of the particular of all visits, including CCTV taken. So if today I were to visit that office, my documents will be taken. And of course, there are CCTVs in that office. And this is what the investigators really want. Because according to the investors, I mean the businessmen, they visited that office twice. And remember, by yesterday, when these guys went, the first thing they went for was the CCTV footage. And for those who followed my yesterday video, I was asking about the statement by these foreigners. Because so far, they are with the investigators, but their statement is not public. The only known thing is that they were received from the airport by government vehicles, and then they were driven straight to the deputy president's office. That's the day the deal was supposed to be brokered. Now, point number 3, they're saying a review of CCTV footage shows that on Thursday, February 13th, between 9:39:05 to 10:02 a.m., a total of 23 minutes as per the recordings. That's why the deputy president was referring to 23 minutes. Echasa, in company of 2 men, visited the office claiming he had an appointment. Security officers manning the reception ushered him in and the 2 in his company to the public waiting room, as is the standard applied procedure to all visitors, which I agree. So what this thing is not saying is that on this day, how did they arrive? Echesa and the 2. And these 2, were they this white? Of course, the deputy president probably had reviewed the CCTV, and that's why he was talking of 23 minutes when these investors accessed the office. So probably the 2 visitors accompanying Echesa were those foreign investors or foreign businessmen. But the details, other details are not coming up here. And that's why today during, when the investigators visited Harambee House Annex, they took most of their time talking with the security officers there. Probably they are asking them, how did these guys arrive here? If they used government vehicles, which kind of government vehicle, and which vehicle was this? Because remember, the investors were very clear. They visited the office twice. And the last time they went there, when they now got these guys arrested on 13th, when they went there, they were ushered in style. So those are some of the things the investigators are talking about. And this statement by the DP is only referring to that particular incident. Because one thing, assuming even this scandal was not there, Rashid Echasa is a frequent visitor to the office of the deputy president. This scandal started long time ago, by October. So I don't know why this statement is particularly singling out this particular day. Maybe because this is the day of particular interest. We don't know what the investigators have also. Number 4, they are saying the deputy president was not at the office at the time as he was working from his current office before he left to attend a funeral in Murang'a County that morning. On checking his diary, there was no such an appointment. This one I think is the truth. On that day, I remember so well, the deputy president was in Murang'a. So whether he went to Murang'a from Karen or he passed through office, I can't tell. But one thing I can assure you was that by the time these guys were being arrested, the deputy president was outside office. He was in Murang'a attending a funeral of one of their key supporters, the father of one of their key supporters there. So this is the truth. Number 5, when they were informed that the DP was not in, Mr. Echasa and his entourage left. Basically, that's why they stayed for a short time. Remember, if you want to go into the details, this day, these guys were supposed to sign a document. This deal was supposed to be sealed. But it was supposed to be sealed in the presence of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So probably these guys left because the businessmen insisted that for us to sign this deal, the DP must be there. And because the DP was not there, they also had to leave just almost immediately. Then it's saying, of course, that gives the reason why they stayed within that short time. And 23 minutes is not a long, it's not a short time if you're waiting and you've been told the guy is out. You see, like if I come to your office to see you and I'm told you are not in office, you are in Muranga, then basically 23 minutes is long time. What should I be doing in the office for the next 23 minutes? Then number 6 is saying, on the material day, His Excellency, the Deputy President, was not scheduled to work from Harambee House Annex and did not visit the premise at any point. So it means the DP was not supposed to work from there. And based on his itinerary, which was Karen, then to Muranga, it was clear he was not supposed to work from here, according to his program. But why did Echasa have to go with these guys to this office? Probably because the guys, that's where this deal was supposed to be signed. And that's why he had to take these guys there. But probably the Deputy President, William Ruto, was not aware of these guys coming to his office. Number 7, the Deputy President was not scheduled to meet with the former Cabinet Secretary. Neither did Echasa have any appointment. Of course, Echasa is William Ruto's friend. Probably doesn't need appointment to see the DP. But what I can deduce from point number 7 is that Rashid Echasa is now on his own. He will have to deal with this matter just as a man. The DP will not be dragged in it. Number 8, Echasa and his team did not meet any officer who works for the Deputy President other than the security officers manning the reception. Chief of Staff Ken Osinde, Private Secretary Ruben Mayo, Personal Assistant Farouk Kibet were not in Harambee House annexed on the material day as alleged by the media. Remember, according to the media reports, these 3 guys were also persons of interest. Because there's no way Echasa could have easily managed to get into the office if Farouk Kibet was not there, if Osinde was not there, if Mayo was not there. These are the guys who are handling the DP. All of them are out. And I'm sure probably even Echasa's contact at Harambee House, if he made the call, these guys might have told him that today the DP is out, these 3 other individuals are also out. So basically the people who are remaining in that office are people who cannot make any decision. So I think this one is going to address the narrative that the office of the Deputy President is involved, because these are the 3 people who are being tagged in that thing. Number 9 is saying Mr. Echasa and the men did not access any other office other than the public waiting room. Of course, if the DP is not there, Osindo is not there, Mayo is not there, Farouk is not there, it goes without saying there's no any other person Echasa could meet with these guys, because those are the 4 people he can meet at his level in that office. Number 10 is saying the office of the Deputy President does not procure goods and services for any state department or entity. Neither does it provide legal, technical, and facilitate services for signing agreement, let alone in public waiting room. I hope I hope you are getting the point here. Let me repeat. The office of the Deputy President does not procure goods and services for state departments, entities. Neither does it provide legal, technical, or facilitative services for signing agreement, let alone in its public waiting room. So from this statement, it's clear there were documents which were being flashed by these guys. So these guys came to sign the document. They were with the Echasa. So probably the guys wakatoa hizo madocuments zao in the waiting room and captured promptly on CCTVs. Echasa katoa zake, captured well on CCTVs. Or probably these are the documents which were found in the DP's office, but they were found at the waiting room, or they were found somewhere. But now these guys are exonerating themselves. They don't procure. So if you signed a document in that office, hiyo ni juu yako. If you are conned into signing a document in that office, that's your personal problem. But from here, it's clear that these documents, they might have been seen through the CCTV in this office. And number 12, the DP considers this a very serious matter involving a government office and being an issue that has recurred in many such offices once investigation expedited, devoid of political and media propaganda. I don't know why he's calling this media propaganda. The office is calling this media propaganda, or where they are calling it political. You see, if guys are being conned in an office, they've lost 11.5 million. And the name of the DP is being mentioned. It's a serious matter. It's not propaganda. Media is just to inform. Like this channel, we just inform people what's happening. But it's not propaganda. It's not politics. It can only be termed politics if, for example, these guys were said to have went to that office, but indeed they were not there. The office has confirmed these guys were there. The office has confirmed these guys were in the waiting room. The office has confirmed these guys were there for 23 minutes. The question is, what were they doing there? Assuming they met the DP. Assuming they met the DP, what would have happened? Would they have been arrested? Would the DP would have called the police to arrest Rashid Echasa? Those are the questions. And now that takes us to the statement by the Ministry of Defense. Ministry of Defense. Hey, things are relevant here. Ministry of Defense has a statement. And I like their statement because it's short and precise. And they are saying that they don't want to be involved in this matter. They took the investigators and the complainant to the institution and then identified all the people who can legally enter into any agreement, whether it's procurement of magnitude of anything. So they brought all those guys. Then hawa watu wakaambiwa sasa mwanze identify the guys you met. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So none of those people were met. So basically that means the story which was carried by the Standard is correct. That fake guys were presented to these guys in an hotel in military fatigue. Fake guys. So the investors met fake military officials in hotel. But now let's read their statement. It's saying, reference is made to the ongoing investigations and media reports mentioning the Ministry of Defense in relation to a fake arm procurement scam. In line with the foregoing, today investigators and complainant in the matter visited Ulinzi House, the Ministry of Defense headquarters, to ascertain the officers and offices they allegedly accessed. So if these guys were saying they went to the Deputy President's office, which is fine, okay? Then they again went to the office, to the Department of Defense. Okay, now we are here. Can you identify the guys? During the visit, it was established that the complainants have never interacted with any officials mandated to represent the Ministry of Defense. They have never. This is what should happen in the office of the Deputy President. An identification parade should be conducted, and the complainants are called in to identify if there's any employer or any staffer working there whom they might have met. So that if they had not met anybody from that office, then the office of the Deputy President automatically is exonerated from the scam. I don't know whether they also did that kind of identification. And they are going on. The visit further revealed that the complainants have never been to Ulinzi House, the Ministry of Defense headquarters, as has been alleged. Because there were stories that these guys also went to that office, to the Ulinzi House. So when they went there, they were visiting that place for the first time. So they are confirming for us, we've never been to this place. So where were they taken to? So probably some barrack somewhere, or maybe, I don't know, but where were they taken to? So they've confirmed that in the Ministry of Defense, the guys who are mandated, they never met. They've never met. Again, they've never met, they've never been to that office. Then they are saying, for avoidance of doubt, all the documents and content displayed in the media pertaining this matter never originated from the Ministry of Defense. So basically, Ministry of Defense have nothing to do with this thing. Because I pointed out that the tender document, which was displayed, which Echasa had, which was found in Echasa's car, if you look at it keenly, those documents are not standard tender documents. So probably just someone organized some documents, forged the signature of Monica Juma, forged the stamps, which anybody can easily do in the streets of Nairobi. So they've now said, for them, they don't want to be involved in that matter. And they are saying, in this regard, the ministry distances itself from the alleged involvement in the fake arm procurement. So they are saying, for us, we are not procuring anything. They are military. They are saying, us, we are not procuring anything. We don't know what you are talking about. Deal with it. The Ministry of Defense wishes to reiterate that we have an elaborate procurement process and structures that ensure transparency and accountability of any procurement process as guided by the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2016. The Ministry of Defense is very concerned that a section of the media are creating a narrative that is scandalous and rebellious in the spirit of what is clearly a fraudulent and criminal act. The Ministry of Defense intends to seek redress for this matter. So basically, the Ministry of Defense believe that this is a fraudulent and criminal act, and they're going to pursue it. And that's why I'm saying, if Echasa was involved in this matter, I don't think it's going to end very easily for him. This matter is going to be very complex. And because it's confirmed that they were at the DP's office, the office of the deputy president must also ensure that they clear their name. But I'm also seeing something. I'm also seeing pictures which are being floated around. For example, who accompanied Echasa to Poland? Who accompanied Echasa to Poland? Who? I think the investigative agencies will be able to get the CCTV. I'm sure even these guys in Poland, they had CCTV cameras. So definitely, even down there, they'll get the CCTV cameras. But this matter is complex. And I don't think it's propaganda. I don't think it's politics. But my advice is that the investigative agencies should investigate this matter so that we don't have next time people being conned in the name of the office of the deputy president, or in the name of State House, or in the name of the office of the president, when those guys are not involved. This country should have a working intelligence system which are able to deal with these threats even before they are escalated to this level. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.